William Shakespeare said true hope is swift and flies with swallows' wings. Kings it makes gods, and meaner creatures kings. Hope is a funny thing. It shines brightest in the darkest moments of our lives. It can be brought on by loss, by pain, by memories. But wherever and whenever it appears, hope looks forwards, not backwards. It looks up, not down. Hope promises a future better than the present. That is what hope does best. Hope breeds hope. Oh, hello, hello, hello. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these wonderful people have agreed to join me to play a game tonight, and that makes me happy. These reasonable people. I mean, you guys have been called a lot of things. I don't know. I apologize if reasonable is offensive in any way. Let's start with Thunderscape 7. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Thunderscape 7, almost everywhere on the internet. I do art sometimes. Other times I'm just lurking in the Discord or in chat on Twitch. And I hang out and have
Yes,
fun.
and do many arts for us, including some of
Yes.
tonight. Yeah. So let's move on. Let's go quickly over to Karis, our new person. Let's do you. You were what you expected to be last because you were new, but no way. Hello.
I had no expectations. Hello.
Where can we find you when you're not here?
I'm buried deep in my basement with everything sealed off and a heavy-duty air filter next to me.
Oh, fair enough.
But hey, the fall rains are supposed to move in this coming, within a few days from now. That'll clear the air out, and I will be back to Minecraft streaming and D&D and
Yep.
stuff running here on Sundays.
Yeah.
Oh no, except I'm not on your channel. We're affiliated, but we started at different times, so we're on my channel. But
yeah.
Anyways.
So yes, we the links are always there in the Discord, which has been posted already. So please go there and join it. We're really friendly. Bison _ Stonefist. Speaking of the channel, four nights a week. So fill us in on the schedule.
So 80% of the time I'm here. Today I'm playing Sid Brimlock, our somehow invincible engineer.
You just jinxed it.
I wouldn't say invincible. I would say immortal because he refuses to die. He's just too stubborn.
Yes.
On Monday, I played Jack, not a cop, Aldridge. He is a
worse than a cop.
He's worse than a cop. No, he's worse than a cop. He's a youth pastor. Yeah, on our Buffy the Vampire Slayer game, Grave New World, I almost called it Dead to Rights. That's tonight.
That's this one.
Yeah, it's today. On Tuesdays, I run a game. I run our Cyberpunk Red game, Carnage Heights. I just kidnapped one of our characters for the second time. And Thursday, I am playing I don't really know how to describe Encino. He's yeah, you're just gonna have to watch for yourself. Yeah, it's called King's Pyrite. It's based on the Fool's Gold Into the Beckoning Wilds 5e module by the ever so lovely Dingo Doodles and her partner, whose name escapes me.
Felix.
Felix. Yes, and Dingo Doodles and Felix. So yeah, and then Fridays, that's the game I'm not in.
Yes. So yeah, I'll get to that in a second. But before we do, we have to come all the way around the circle. Chris, hello.
That's me.
That's
Hi.
you. Tell us the things.
I am Chris, aka Wayward Knight, on the interwebs. I am an artist, and I am on various places. That is my link to go to all the different places. You can buy my art if you want, if you like it. Follow me on Instagram to catch up with all of the latest stuff. That's where all of the most up-to-date things are. Support your small and local artist friends. I also Well, first of all, tonight I am playing Delilah Stillwater, our lovely traumatized architect, with a lot of problems. And on Mondays, I run the Buffy the Vampire Slayer TTRPG Grave New World, as mentioned by one of my players, who's in this very room. Well, digital room.
Or am I?
And then the rest of the time, I obsessively exist on the Discord.
Discord.
Yeah.
So the only night we didn't talk about was Friday. We're using the rule set from Stealing Stories for the Devil to do a time-traveling adventure where decisions must be made without the full information that you would probably hope for. They have so far changed London so many times, it's almost back where it started. It's really kind of fun. Only 3 episodes left of that. 3? 4? There's only less than a handful left. Anyway, tonight.
How much objectively is a handful?
5.
Technically, it's 5. Yeah.
6 if you have a bonus finger.
Yeah. 6 if you killed my father prepared to die.
The default is the default is 5. Delilah. Hi. Yeah. You spoke in the introduction of your character about the tremendous level of trauma that they have experienced. During the mechanical portion of the game tonight, you drew a handful of cards.
I did.
Please continue from there.
Okay, so
Coas has just left. These two have buggered off to their rooms, so you are completely by yourself in your room. That's where that's the only limit I'm putting on this.
Mm-hmm.
And go.
Okay. To preface this, no, I'll bring it up as it comes up. So Delilah, does what you do when you're traumatized and you're ready and you're trying to go to bed and you're trying to not think about things and you're just like doing your nightly routine and avoiding the silence because the silence brings all of the shit in your head to bear. And there is a lot going on in her head. She is elated from her, interactions with Coas.
Yep.
The afternoon before, and she's sad that he is not going to come back with them. She is terrified of so many other things, and she is exhausted to not just physically but emotionally and mentally. And as she lays down in like an actual bed for the first time in a long time,
bed?
Yeah, we're at the
hotel.
Mansion?
Yeah.
Are we? I thought we had
at the mansion.
Or the mansion.
Oh, he did. Okay, I was confused as to where we all went. I thought we were.
I thought we were at the mansion.
I thought only Coas went back to the mansion, and you guys were still outside.
That's on fire.
The ruins.
The fair's on fire.
Yeah, but you're outside. Okay, yeah,
you
wouldn't have. Never mind. Yeah, you have to go back. Never mind. Yeah.
Wait. Okay. So what?
We're at the mansion. I think
we're at the mansion.
The choice.
We're at the mansion now.
Is the choice?
Sure.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
Autosave loaded.
Yes.
You know what? Rewind.
You're already
Thank you. Coas, she's sad because Coas had to leave. Yep. So I guess they are in their camp.
So the purposes of this, then Coas has buggered off with, to find Thomas in the city, so he's not here. He's still gone. Yeah.
Yeah, he's still gone. Either way, Coas is gone.
Yeah.
And Delilah is feeling the kind of sorrow and void from that, because she found what she wanted in him, and then it had to leave right away, and it's heartbreaking. And as that compounds with all of the other just all the shit, her fear of responsibility, her fear of herself, her reluctance to accept the role that she knows she has to play, she lays down and closes her eyes, and mechanically, as she drifts off to sleep, she is dead.
You are at 4 trauma in which of the stats?
In, what's it called? Flesh, which is the emotional.
Yeah.
On top of that, I drew my king.
Now, what is your king? It'll tell you on your character sheet if you don't remember. What is your specific king?
My king is dissociation to an extreme degree. So what that means is that Delilah essentially recedes into herself, and then this irrational, rash, sort of compulsive version of her comes out to replace it, because she loses who she actually is and becomes some sort of id to her own ego, or whatever is that, I don't even know if that's the correct terminology.
Ego and super ego probably, but never mind.
Jekyll to a Hyde, or Hyde to a Jekyll.
Yes.
Essentially, she loses her, rational mind a little bit, and sort of floats along doing whatever. So I think in this state of death and dying, she begins to process everything that has been happening and has happened that she hasn't let herself process.
We're going to pop back to you a couple times and do sort of little mini scenes as we go, but that's the perfect setup for us. If anybody was in this room, they'd be hard-pressed to say that you weren't dead. You're breathing 2 or 3 times a minute, real shallow, real slow. Your heart beats 8, 10 beats a minute. You're almost gone. Meanwhile, Artemis, in your room, go to bed that night. What happens? Coes is off in the distance, herring off after Thomas the maniac. You got some resolution before he left.
Some resolution. And she had no illusion that it would be perfect resolution. This is their family after all.
It's Coes of all the members
Coes
of your family.
It's Coes and her. They're both not necessarily good at that kind of stuff, but she got more resolution than she was expecting out of Coes. She expected him to always kind of skirt the issue and not actually want to talk about it. So that was kind of surprising for her, but she's still kind of sad, because she was liking getting to know him again. And it'll be weird without him in the group being Coes.
Yep.
But she's also so relieved to be away from the fair. Fireworks are not going off 24/7, and she's not in as much pain. So
just you and me and the ringing in my ears,
right? And the pain I always have. Yeah. That I can deal with, that I know.
Back to what passes for normal.
Yeah, basically back to equilibrium.
Yeah.
So it's kind of bittersweet, but she also can see that Koas has found a place he feels he needs to be, and she's, she understands that and gets that, and it also seems like he's really been able to reach out to Thomas, who she kind of knows from being her patron's son, but he was always kind of, in the periphery. She never really dealt with him as far as she knew very closely.
For a large portion of it, he was pretending to be his parents, so he kind of had
exactly.
to maintain some distance.
And so it's like she never had a real close relationship, but she could tell that he and Koas really connected.
Yeah.
And so, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
They're not parting ways. It's a different way of parting ways than they had previously.
Fair.
Which was very just bad for everyone involved.
Yes. And so I'm presuming after all of that, it's fairly easy for you to get to sleep.
Yeah, she's pretty wiped, honestly. Yeah. She's
and
exhausted.
It's finally quiet.
It's finally quiet.
Yeah.
It's finally not, doesn't smell like gunpowder or whatever. Yeah. And, not the constant fireworks. So yeah, she's...
There's no fireworks, just the constant chatter of young...
teenage girls.
Yeah, teenage girls, yeah.
Which she can deal with. She can block that out just fine.
And out you go, because you're in one of the nice rooms. Sid, take us from Koas is gone to going to bed.
Koas is gone to going to bed. I think he's still got, half a dozen broken ribs.
Yep.
His body he's got 3 flesh trauma. So he's tired. He's hungover. That adrenaline crash is finally starting to get to him.
Oh.
And I think
the lactic acid building up in the muscles, so every time you move it feels like they're ripping. Oh yeah.
And he tries to help unpack the Orchid Mobile, but I think even Stefano could notice.
Yeah, the boys chase you away in a blink. Yeah.
And I think he's probably asleep. Actually, hold on, let me roll the die here, see what happens. Yeah, homeboy doesn't even make it to his bed. He finds a couch in the foyer and just
bottom of the stairs. Sid's just on the couch. Okay,
they're pretty comfortable. Delilah and Artemis can say.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, just quick and out. I know you didn't draw your king because you would have told me, but dreams, Sid, ghosts.
Actually, the king was last session.
Yeah.
So
without the king, when you go to sleep tonight,
he doesn't remember his dream. But what happens is he's standing there, and the 2 faceless ghosts from the airship are looking, and it's pitch dark everywhere. It's dark, but he can see them, and they don't see him, and he's just sort of watching them. And before he wakes up, it's just, "Who are you?" And then he wakes up probably 12 hours later.
You said you don't remember the dream, so I'm going to be a complete prick here. You don't get an answer, but the faceless faces turn and look past you. And when you turn around, you're looking in Delilah's face. Then you crash for 12 hours and don't remember it. Told you I was going to be a prick. 12-ish hours later, Sid and Artemis, you are woken by the the perfect lady of the house. She makes just enough noise in front of your settee, in Sid's case, or outside your door. Do the thing where they vacuum the wall just outside your room just a little bit to, breakfast is ready.
Occasional bump against the door.
Yeah, don't let it get cold. And yeah, Fatima is it gives you both the sort of bump. It's well past dawn. It's well into the next day. There's no sign of Delilah downstairs. At least Sid, when you wake up, and Artemis, yeah, when you come out of your room, there's no sign of Delilah around.
Yeah. Sid looks up to Fatima. He's like, "Good morning, ma'am. Have the ladies come down yet?"
One of them is doing so right now. I think the other might need some tea. And she drifts off down the hallway to go get tea as you see Artemis coming down the stairs. I'm assuming you come down the stairs, Artemis. Sorry, I took away your agency. You're muted. That's why I took it away. Yeah, I took it away. You couldn't stop me.
No, she was going to come down the stairs, and she'll kind of see
interesting slip.
The ghost of
said it too many times.
That's one.
In a row. She sees Sid, and he's pretty shit kicked, and so she'll kind of like move past, say good morning, and go into like the kitchen, try to find some like frozen ice, some ice, something, because she doesn't know how to heal things, but she knows how things hurt.
Yeah.
And she'll like hand him this bag of frozen peas. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You go in and Fatima's in there coming out with a big mug of steaming like herbal tea, something really gentle, right? Kind of lavendery kind of smell, something like, yeah, here you go. But she's yes, the icebox is just down there, and heads up the stairs. You open it up, and yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. You want a bag of peas? There's a bag of peas in here.
Yeah, just something frozen,
a burlap
relatively
bag
soft. Yeah,
peas. Yeah, frozen solid.
Or frozen olives from the. I don't know.
Even better. Yes, we're in Italy. Frozen olives.
Yeah, we are in Italy, and there were olive groves anyway.
Yes.
And she'll come back out and kind of hand them to Sid.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Sid. The next morning with broken ribs. I mean, everything's swollen, but each side swole differently.
Yeah.
And the ends are rubbing together, and
he's like, tries to find a comfortable spot.
Ow. Bag of peas.
Yeah. And he slept on a couch.
On a settee like this.
So yeah. He is in a great position. He just, thank you. And he just finds a spot where it hurts less and just puts it there.
How many of these you got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just throw me in the freezer. Yeah, just throw me in the freezer.
Fill one of the baths upstairs with ice and just.
Speaking of upstairs, it takes you a couple minutes to go get that stuff and come back, and Sid to find the spot for it. Just as you say the words upstairs, you hear from upstairs a shriek. No, and the sound of running footsteps, and at the top of the stairs skids to a stop. Fatima, she looks down and says, she's dead, turns around and runs back down the hall.
Artemis is up and moving because she's the only one that can really move quickly in this juncture.
Sid, do you try? I gotta
Sid's
ask.
Trying. He's gonna try.
I need a physical test. I need diamonds. I need resistance to this pain.
Oh.
Unless you can convince me of something else.
Well, that's readiness.
That's more mental. This is Oh, you're gonna brace yourself for the pain knowing?
Well, no. I was just looking. Okay. I thought I had resistance. I have it trained, but we'll go with just one success.
Just one success. Okay, so yeah, you manage not to fall, but you do not manage to not make a noise. So you stand all the way up, and then bang, you're back down to 3/4, and you make that.
Yeah, something pops.
You
now know what it feels like for a lung to be scratched by a rib. Like,
Hearing that, Artemis will stop and turn and look like
You turn just in time to watch the color just out of Sid. It's just gone like a thermometer in an icebox.
Yeah,
she'll in a minute.
He stays vertical.
10.
You hear another scream upstairs.
Oh, balls.
And she will help Sid.
Okay, you stick.
Yeah. Because she's like, I don't know what else we can do, so I'm going to help Sid up these stairs to try and like maneuver like I don't want to hurt you more.
Between Artemis and the banister, you should be able to make it up okay.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it takes forever and a weekend, forever and a long weekend even. She's Fatima, the woman who killed her husband in cold blood when the moment presented itself, the woman who was running a house full of teenage girls without even blinking, is shrieking. When you get up there, you get down to Delilah's door, you open it up. The blankets are off the bed on the floor, and on the bed is Delilah, flat on her back, pale, almost blue. And sitting on her stomach area is Fatima doing chest compressions on Delilah. And screaming and crying and snotting and drooling and just like all the things.
Artemis will help Sid like over and like maybe pull a chair around so that he can be present but not necessarily harming
Sid's
himself.
He doesn't sit in the chair. He shifts it real quick just so he can like lean against it so he feels like he's doing something.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Lean in close. Yeah. You hear,
and Artemis will go to the other side of the bed.
You hear from Delilah, and you realize that was a breath. Fatima realizes it too, and she kind of does the thing like, it worked, stop. And Delilah goes still again.
Artemis.
No.
Check for a pulse.
She will. She'll kind of go to like the wrist.
Yeah. And you know how you do the 10 seconds
mm-hmm.
and multiply by 6 sort of thing, right? To see how many per minute.
Mm-hmm.
You get 1 at about 7 seconds. And you wait. And they're like between 5 and 8 seconds apart. They're more like tremors than beats. You do the old mirror over the mouth thing. And it's, 4 breaths a minute and not very much. They are alive and they are oxygenating, but that is it. You lift up arms, it's deadfall. You shine lights in the eyes. There's not even any pupil response.
And there's no like seemingly wounds on her.
Let's ask
like
Delilah.
Robin knows, but
physically, are you beat up at all?
Am I?
So for hearts, no, not a mark on you. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Robin assumed, but Artemis wouldn't know. So
fair.
She's just trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah. So you quickly go over. Yeah. No, not a mark.
She's alive-ish, I think. And she'll kind of look at Fatima, who's still freaking out, or as
She's backed off the bed now, and she's kind of backing away with her hands up. She's alive?
I think she has a pulse. She's breathing. It's slow, but it's there.
Do you know how to fix this? She looks at you and Sid.
No.
She was the doctor.
You need to get her to someone trained.
Where would we?
Artemis is like. And then Sid looks around and he sees all of the ghosts standing around Delilah's bed.
Mm-hmm.
Max and Lucy, his parents, are standing at the foot of the bed. The 2 faceless ghosts are standing as close to Delilah as they can get.
And Artemis is just kind of trying to rack her brain for like, well, where would we take her? Like the closest place obviously is Florence, which is destroyed.
It's gone. There's nothing.
Like it's gone. Like that would be the closest place where there had been doctors.
Yep, you burned down the fair. You don't know whether there was doctors there or not, but it's gone. So
I mean, there were doctors outside of that fair, I guess, but they were holistic ones. So and we don't even know what's wrong.
Yeah.
And she looks at Delilah, who's, you said that she was pale.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't get to leave too. You hear me, Delilah? You do not get to leave.
I'm assuming Verite and Stefano are there, right?
As you sort of assume that, you turn around and they're standing in the door.
Yeah, because I'm sure they heard the screaming.
Stefano, her tea that the weirdos at the river gave her.
What?
Go get it. It'll be in her things. A package of tea. Herbal. Smells really nice.
Tea?
Yes, tea.
Verite's already gone. Stefano's, yeah, okay. And turns and follows Verite. It'll be a minute or two before they're back. While you wait that interminable minute or two. Oh, Artemis, it looked like you were going to say something.
No, she's just
okay.
Processing. And you get the feeling she's switching back and forth between Delilah and Apollo.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think Sid would get that too.
Yeah. Delilah.
Hi.
Hello. It's, you know what they say when you die, your sort of your life flashes in front of your eyes. Not all of it, but the important decisions do. Which one happens first? You said you've dissociated into this completely separate entity now. So this entity looking down on Delilah's history like it's a book.
Mm-hmm.
Me, but not me. What happens? What hits?
The shocker is that the first real decision, like real impactful decision that she ever made, was answering Verite's summons. And it's almost like she kind of leafs through the pages of her life before that, like in her mind, and she's like, wait, no, I did so many things, so many great things before that can't be the first time I ever made my own choice. And she is looking back on her life, and she comes to realize that really all of the decisions were made for her from the beginning of her living memory onward to that
just
day.
Flipping the pages of that book, and it's all done. Yeah, all until that day, it wasn't you. Let's leave it there for a second. Artemis and Sid, Fatima kind of, you see her shake her head and pull herself back in. And she looks at, you have got to get her to one of the cities. And she pulls out a map and slaps it on the table. Bologna, Forlì, they're about the same distance away. I can't tell you anything about either one, but
Forlì, that's where we were, wasn't it?
No, that's where we were heading.
Oh, okay.
That had been your choice. Yeah, you guys
where we were going towards.
Yeah, you guys are still well, you're back, essentially back at Florence now. So you're at this joint in the highway. So it's which way are you going? If you go that way, you're going to Forlì. If you go that way, you're going to Bologna. She says, either way, even with that thing, and she looks out the window at the car, it's going to be 3 or 4 days.
Sid's like, if only those psychos at the river weren't bloody psychos. They knew something. Holistic medicine. Stuff we don't know.
The lads come back with the tea, brew up a cup, and you, I don't know, you try and drip it into her mouth or something?
Totally Sid's gonna take Sid's gonna take a handkerchief and like dip it in the tea.
Yeah, and then
sort of squeeze it into her mouth.
There's the reflexive swallowing to keep from choking, but that's it.
He sets the cup aside. He's kind of like almost like teetering against the headboard at this point.
If we need to get her somewhere, then we need to go somewhere, right?
We do. The road to Bologna is probably no good because of the volcano.
It'd be iffy.
I would.
We're already going towards Forley. We kind of know how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Will we have to cross the river again?
Not yes, but there is. You're informed of somebody's built a small temporary bridge to get across.
Got it.
So yes, Fatima, who was looking out the window before at the car, says, "Oh, I think the boys are ready," and she kind of steps out of the way, like to make room so you can come and look. And she's almost
Artemis almost
grinning.
Doesn't leave.
Yeah,
but she'll go and look.
Yeah, it's just over to the window.
Easily.
So
yeah.
The Sid.
He stays at the head of the bed.
Yeah.
Think he was about to move, but like he's in that weird position where everything still hurts, but he's got more important things to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, he grabs Delilah's hand. It's so small compared to his. And he's like, we're going to fix this. I'm going to bring you back. I promise. Too many ghosts. What's going on?
Artemis,
what does Artemis see?
You look out the window and you see where the back seat was, because there's a front seat, a back seat, and then the rumble seat, right? The boys always ride in a rumble seat. You guys, sometimes, most of you ride in the front. The back seat now has a suspended hammock, like a spring-hung hammock in it. And in it is a patchwork dragon sleeping bag. And as you look out the window, you can see Stefano just working fiercely behind the vehicle, and then he pops up, very triumphantly pops up. He's taken apart the backpack, and there's now a hoodie that's made out of the dragon head, and he plunks that there, and he's like, the two of them, like, they're out of stuff to do now, so they're starting to fuss. Like, Verity's adjusting spring tensions and pressing things, and Stefano's trying to get the googly eyes pointed in funny directions. And
well, if we don't get going, they're going to tear that thing apart. Build a new one.
Yeah.
Fatima, I'm afraid you might have to get some of the girls to help us.
And she grins and reaches into a little pouch on her belt and pulls out this little whistle and goes, "You might want to cover your ears. This is extremely loud." And then you hear her start to count as the whistle stops. You hear 1, 2, 3. The first girl skids around the corner into the door at about 4.5.
I reiterate last time we were at the mansion. What in the Von Trapp?
And the first 6 there form up into stretcher crew because, of course, they're trying to do this. They're emergency response team for the city of Florence survivors. Plus, it keeps them busy and gives them useful skills. So, yes, Delilah is packed professionally, quickly, and with only the tiniest bit of giggling, off to the car, ensconced inside the dragon, essentially made into a dragon cocoon in the back seat.
Papoose.
Yep, the boys in the back, the 2 of you in the front. You back up out of the yard, and Fatima's just looking. And you, for just a split second, you can kind of see, almost like it's reflected in her eyes, how silly this looks. Like this is the future of the world. This is what's going to save us or not. And it's this orchid covered in patchwork, with a patchwork cocoon in the back, and 4 mad people and 1 unconscious mad person pedaling madly and steering off.
Before we leave the mansion,
yes.
I think before, like, when Artemis would probably help Sid back down the stairs, she would have slid something underneath the door that is Coas's room.
Okay, yeah.
And something she had drawn. And then she would help Sid down, and she would help Sid into the car so that he's like not going to be too uncomfortable, because she also can't do anything for Sid either. Physically, she's not a doctor.
Well, all he has to be is a counterweight at this point, right? Just sit in the car and tilt when you do. She'll
maybe like put the softest parts of like their packs around him to kind of like keep him from like hitting the metal on the sides. But that's about all she can do.
Over the course,
she chosen as driver?
You're the only one that's functional other than the boys.
Okay.
And I was going to say, over the course of, we're going to speedball this because this is just like a cutscene. Over the course of the next 3 days, the guys take turns, because Sid, I mean, he can't pedal to charge this thing, so they take turns sitting next to you, charging the thing up. But it's like being in a tiny little drop of hell moving through heaven, because I mean, this is beautiful. This is Italy. You're the only ones on the road. You're doing sort of 20, 30, 40 kilometers an hour past vineyards and little sheds, and there's signs of people. Not lots, but signs of people all over the place. You see families working, a very small patch of land, subsistence farming, as you drive past. But you're on the old highway, you're up a little bit. You see everything old, everything from before, whether by accident or on purpose, it's just been abandoned. Everything here is new. Everything is built out of what's growing here. Everybody's eating what's growing here. They're in one sense, they're almost back to the Stone Age, but in another sense, they're not. This is a lush, fertile place. It's easy to live here. And you can see lots and lots and lots of kids, little kids, something you did not see in Florence.
I think over those 3 days, Artemis is a mess.
Yeah.
Sid has seen no evidence that she has slept.
Yep.
She seems to have rested at least, but he's seen no evidence of it.
Yep. Yeah, a couple of times you've woken up to find Verite sitting beside you, pedaling and steering, and you're just like, you just passed out.
Yeah. Like she's not okay. She's very worried. She's very concerned, and she's like, he's seeing her kind of not deteriorate, but like she's full on panic and like hyper focusing on like, well, you just need to get here.
Getting you there.
Someone will know. Someone has to know. Like, there's always doctors. Like,
civilization. So you finally come over that last hill, and it's a downhill roll all the way down to Forley. Now you can see, like I said, it's up until now everything has been new, but Forley is refurbished. It's a little town. The only thing that's new is the wooden palisade around it. Very medieval. It's just like a spiky wooden palisade with a big gate over the road. And as you get closer, you start to see like those large vertical flags, and they're just white flags, no symbology on them at all. You get closer and closer, and you see ahead of you at the gate, there's multiple guards. There's guard tower on each side. There's, between the towers and the people on the road in front of you, there's at least 8 heavily armed guards that you can see. And as you pull close, one of them...
I think before we get a little close, Sid tells Artemis to stow the rifle.
And she'll kind of put it like in the back.
It's easy to hide stuff under Delilah.
Yeah. Like it's not within arm's reach.
Yep.
It's not within arm's reach. She's, has it back, but she is like white knuckling like anything she is holding.
Yeah.
Yeah. She'll stop when she's told to, but she's looking stressed.
Papers.
We don't have any, sir. We're refugees from Florence. A friend is hurt and we need help.
Well.
We need a doctor. Please.
Oh, you do? I'm afraid before we can do that, you're going to have to get permission to enter.
Our friend is dying.
Yes, but forms are forms.
Then what do we need to do?
Follow me. And he turns around and the doors open. And he walks through them.
Enough for the car? Does it need to be? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you carry Delilah all the way in. So yeah, just enough for the car to roll in.
Yeah.
As you roll in, it's like 1,000 years disappears. There's chickens and goats and dirty children and people selling stuff and horses and cows and just everything in this city center courtyard. And he's just walking through it like it's the most normal thing in the day, heading straight across to what used to be the Grand Hall, like when this was a manor.
Yeah, Artemis is doing her best. She's trying to be on her best behavior while also simultaneously fighting off a panic attack.
Yep. As you get closer, it's kind of, I don't know how many of you have seen this, but there's a thing in the north when they want to count the caribou. They catch the caribou and then they count them because it's easier than counting them when they're everywhere. And they do that with like the fence that does this, right?
Yeah.
The funnel fence. It's not quite that obvious, except that the closer you get to the hall, the more sort of guards sort of start dropping in behind and around you. And in the process of doing that, they form this hole that you and the car are in. And the civilians just go around like they're not there, like they leap out of the way. Nobody complains when they're almost run over.
These are the same guys that almost got blown up by the psychos in the woods. The mercenaries.
Are they?
I think so.
No, this is not the White Company.
Okay.
No.
I was going to say, I didn't think so.
I was thinking it was the White Company because you said the white banners.
There's this, I could absolutely see that. But yeah, you look around and there's nothing overtly mercenary about this place. It's not overtly
at the very
military.
least, it's not what we saw by the river.
Yeah. What it is what I'll give you is 90% of the people you see are scrabbling to exist day to day in the middle of the paradise that you guys just drove through.
Sid looks at Artemis, and even under the mustache, you can tell it's not this shit again.
Yeah. As he gets to the doors, he turns one hand ceremoniously on the handle and says to you, "Do be polite, and I hope you have lots and lots of copper." And as he starts to pull open the door, we cut away to Allegra. As I understand it, Allegra, it's been a day. Is that a fair description?
It has been a roller coaster of a day.
You've waited almost an hour for this, so get us from Allegra waking up in the morning to where we know she is.
I drew my king first thing in the morning, and I do not wish to go into details right now as to the nature of my king. It will become apparent a little later. Yeah. So that was challenging. And then I went and attended services and was threatened by a mucky muck. Mm-hmm. But got my own back on him. Mm-hmm. And it was very satisfying. And then I noticed I'd kind of a tickle in my throat, and it's like, my voice isn't quite up to it. And it's like, oh, but I need my voice. And it's highly distracting. And so I have an appointment in the afternoon at the Civic building, which mm-hmm. I have been warned, threatened, advised against attending.
Yes.
But of course I'm going to.
Of course you.
Because I've been doing some activities, and I need to know how much they know. Because I'm a little worried about it. But I was like, okay, so I've made my way over with difficulty, and I've gotten there in the lobby. And of course I'm going to have to wait. Mm-hmm. Because, they're not going to see me promptly. I was summoned.
Oh, no.
I wait on their convenience. Sank into on a bench in the lobby area with relief. And as I did, I sort of sat down. I also sat down hard and kind of twisted my ankle as I was down. I was like, oh, not again.
Yep.
Because at the beginning of this session, I drew my king. Second king today, peeps.
Yep.
It's a day.
So with that, you are having a day. And two things happen that make your day a capital. First one makes it a capital D day. Second one makes it a capital D day with an exclamation point at the end. The first one is the door opens over here. And a group of people come in. One of the guards opens. Actually, you just see them through the door. The guard opens the door, and you see a whole group of people that are all being loud and sort of, it's outside, and it's like, oh, you're going to have to wait some more now. But then it gets worse, because at the other end of the room, the door opens up, the door that goes to the hall with the lords of the manor, so to speak. And one of their announcer persons, their what do they call them? The person that shouts the news. A herald, that'll do, yeah.
Herald.
A herald comes out and opens the door and says, "The trial for witchcraft of Allegra Melodia will begin immediately." And poof, his staff on the floor. From behind him, 2 rows of armed soldiers start to pour out and towards you. Everybody else in the room turns to bolt for the door.
Okay, it's a little bit worse than I thought. I'm waiting to be directed what to do.
So you're still just sitting there running.
It's not like I can run.
Nope.
It's not like I can bolt out of here.
Nope.
I mean,
yep.
I'm in for a penny, in for a pound.
Perfect. Sid, Artemis, the door opens. You hear that pronouncement. The peasantry bolts. You look inside, and what do they see, Allegra?
Well, they see a woman sitting on a bench looking very resigned, with determination. It's like, I know what I'm in for.
They were called the witch in this day and age, Artemis and Sid.
And the guy just said, I hope you have lots of copper, correct?
The guy, yep, this guy has told you that the only way you're getting out of this is a huge bribe.
Like, I think Sid can tell, like, Artemis is trying so hard to not deck this man.
Yeah.
Like, she is trying her best, but she is struggling because she's like, we just need a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Sid's using the silver hammer as a crutch currently.
Yep. I thought you were going to say stress ball.
Stress ball.
So yeah, you're coming in on the one crutch to
yeah, because we probably had to leave the car outside.
Outside, yeah.
And our I think Artemis would have suggested the boys stay and watch over Delilah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
And Sid gives Verite a look that doesn't say anything to the guard, but it's one of those given our situation or knowing us, be prepared for a quick getaway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because, and Artemis would be helping Sid too if he needed it.
As you convey that and turn back, you just notice Stefano start to talk to Verite, but then you're distracted again. You turn around and they're coming. This lady's about to get taken away.
What's going on?
Yeah.
She's looking at the man.
It's kind of like witchcraft. It's like witches. Oh, we're really back to that now.
As the guards start coming up,
mm-hmm.
the woman leans down and from under the bench pulls out a pair of arm crutches and levers herself to her feet to go with the guards.
Look, all we need is a doctor for our friend. And you're hunting witches. Can you help us or not? She's saying to the man.
Yep.
Because obviously she's not talking to
and he just looks at you.
But
says,
loud enough for her to hear.
Yeah, he turns and looks at you and just says, wait your turn. And you hear from behind you, Stefano says, no, I don't think we're going to wait for nothing. And he walks past you with these two things, one in each hand. They're basically dripping sparks. Like you can hear them going.
Stefano.
He turns and grins at each of you and he says, I guarantee it's non-fatal. And the arms come up and he just lights up the first two in the row.
We need to stop doing this again.
And they're wearing armor. They got tased.
This is the first time Sid.
They go dang, 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 bang, and they're on the floor. Done.
And the woman is standing there frozen in shock.
Stefano looks down at you, or sort of over at you, and says, get in the car. We're heroes. Hi.
They think I'm the witch.
That wasn't witchcraft. That was just science.
Stefano looks at you and goes, shh, it's witchcraft, and zaps the next two.
You don't happen to be a doctor, do you?
No, I'm a notary.
Do you happen to know where we could find a doctor?
Yes. I mean, no, of course not. Looking back at the guards that who are fortunately too distracted to be paying attention to what I'm doing.
Yeah, they've kind of got to deal with
Stefano has backed the guards and the guy, just backed them right back into the throne room. And he kicks the doors shut. And he goes, you hear him say, 3, 2, 1. And then he touches one of the zappers to the metal doorknob. And you hear from the other side,
look, I don't know what's going on in this city. We're from Florence, so we know about fucked up cities. But we really need a doctor.
I can help you get to one, but I need a little assistance.
I can help you.
Okay. I can. Let's see. They're being very distracted. I start sort of close my eyes and start humming a bit, and then it gets a little bit stronger, and I want to influence their attention away from us so that they're consumed about the electricity and they've forgotten completely about us.
Absolutely, yes.
I'm hoping this is internal and plausible.
That is absolutely internal and plausible. So that only requires one success.
And I sat for more than 5 minutes.
You
correct?
did. So you can redraw your full hand. Yes.
Yoink.
And so I can play 2 cards.
Yes. Yep.
And I get to add 1 to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to play a 9 and a 7 of spades.
16? That
So
is the first ever
4 successes.
4 successes. It's also a 16, which makes it yes because, and success.
Well, no, even without my +1. So...
Yeah, so 17 for 4 successes.
Damn.
Wow. So
how lucky am I on my first play? I am never going to have this kind of luck again.
This makes perfect
any
sense.
Of us, any other of us have 9s.
And again, there is one thing about what you do. As a mechanically speaking, your character is unaware that they've just made a play. Right?
No, this is not the token.
Oh, right. This is not.
I am aware.
Yes. Okay.
This is the melodic shift where I am shifting I'm shifting the song to the reality I want.
Yes. They are completely and
Mm-hmm.
utterly distracted. Absolutely.
Oh, so you're lying to reality.
Yes, I know.
I'm convincing reality it's not a lie.
Yes.
That's how Pete did it.
2 mountains to play counterspell.
Okay,
but
so
your
I have
success...
the first one.
Yep.
I have the first one for the song. Oh, and it's an inner and plausible, so I only need the 1.
Yes.
So for the 3 others, I'm going to use 2 to affect everybody there present.
Yep.
And
still got 1 left.
I am going to add
final success. You can make it last longer.
What I'm gonna do, I am also going to make it last longer. Okay. So it affects all of them and it lasts the entire scene. I was thinking about whether to also make it to inspire somebody to assist me better.
Okay.
But it occurs to me that that's the part I don't know I'm affecting.
Right.
So
perfect. So yes,
that's the tokens I don't know I'm affecting.
You focus through it. This is a moment you outdo yourself. You can feel.
So you hear the song coming out.
Yes. And it sounds all of sparkles and light. Yeah.
Yes, and sort of almost like a heartbeat and all that. It's like, okay, they're distracted. They will be distracted. Can you please help me out? This floor is slippery.
Yeah, I can help you. Sid, are you okay?
I can manage. Come on, ma'am. Let's give you a help.
At the door, you hear, hey, and you look over and Verity's got a paper airplane, and he throws it to you, Sid. You look down, it's got writing on it. He's staying by the door, so he's keeping an eye on Delilah, right? He can't come in, but
he reaches down and picks it up.
You pull it open, and it's a list of crimes and punishments, and the crime of witchcraft has a punishment of immediate death.
Well, that doesn't seem right, especially considering as a Florencian, he wouldn't think that death is
it's
suitable.
Unthinkable. Yeah,
death is not okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid it probably means they know about my extracurricular activities, but anyways,
why would they kill you?
Beware of idiocy in large numbers.
Anyway, and she will help Allegra out.
I mean, when you rule totally, you kind of think you can do everything your way, and they don't really care much about that, though. In any case, oh my, that's a bit colorful, isn't it?
Yeah, we had a whole run-in with a fair. Anyway, we can get you in here and we can go. And she'll look to Verite. Do we need to wait for Stefano?
You turn around looking for Stefano. He's checking pulses on the way back. And as he checks he's looking worried. He checks all 4 pulses. They're all good. He stands up, looks at you, kind of grins and says, 100% non-lethal. And he puts them away like guns and walks outside and gets in the rumble seat.
Puts them away like guns and shocks himself.
Yeah.
Some residual.
Yeah.
So
all right, Tex, let's go.
I can guide you to someone who can discreetly provide medical services, but this vehicle isn't discreet, and I'm kind of What is the nature of the problem?
And she will point to the person suspended in the back. She's dying.
Allegra, you turn and look for the first moment.
Of what?
We don't know.
Here's the thing.
She's
Allegra.
our doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to use a token so that the description is I am so in the song after the 4 successes that I can see the resonating so that I can see where the problem is.
You see where the trauma is to borderline hint at the rules hidden behind this universe that we're in. Sometimes characters know they're in a book, but yes, to look at it from that side, yes, absolutely. You can see where the trauma is. You can see that it is their what is it? No, sorry, their social, their hearts, their flesh, their social
flesh. Yeah.
Oh, this I can help. Can you get us away from here?
As
if to underline that.
Yes, we can.
The sirens start going off. The horns start going off.
Okay. And I sort of make my way in.
And she'll look to Sid and say, once we have Delilah up and working, I think we can get you handled. I don't know if we want to stay in this nut house.
Sid's trying to get into the things. Ow. Ow. Try the other arm. Ow.
She'll help him.
He's just going to roll in on the floor.
Yeah, so where are you going? Where should I go?
Well, Sid's on the floor in the back seat.
So you're under Delilah. This opens up his face.
Yeah,
and
so you can be in the passenger.
I could be in the passenger seat.
Yep.
Okay, so that's easy for me to handle my crutches then.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
and Artemis will help in any way she needs to.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm at pretty practice moving. But thank you. Your arm's just right there, right where I need it. That's absolutely perfect.
Yes. And you see Artemis and starting to pedal dramatically and steer away and leaning. And you figure out right away that as you lean, this thing turns. So it's easier for you to lean with. I love
if you needed me to move in sync, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I can synchronize with
In
the
sync
song,
was one of
easy.
your favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, at speed.
Oh yes, this is
carefully at speed out of this town.
This is the escape the escape montage, right? This is
Do I need
skidding
to
around
make
corners.
a play?
Oh yes, please. Yeah,
Yes.
give me a driving, whatever you think that would be.
Archaeopiloting.
Oh yes, that's the one. That
go.
is absolutely the one. Yes.
Okay, that's
as
okay,
you skid and slide around corners, almost running over donkeys, children, and madmen.
Let's see. What's my?
Yeah. I just like to note that when the song started,
yeah,
we were able to hear it, right?
Oh yes, yep.
Yeah. It's not subtle.
No.
And
Sid's
parents
started kind of oh, I love that. But yeah, it's one of those, it's like it touches you. There's something more than a song. I'll give you that. There's something.
There's something. It syncs the whole universe. It fits perfectly.
Okay,
it does something that none of the children of the rivers that you've met so far did to you. This feels different. Artemis.
The hippies and the psychos don't compare.
Yes, I've got my Jack of Hearts is actually accounts for a 3 of spades.
Okay. Yeah,
I believe
it's actually because it's pretending to be a spade. Yes, I got you.
Yes, and then this is a 7 of hearts, so that's two successes.
Yep,
that's
So yeah, you are you're being chased by people on horseback, and you're in a car. So it's a matter of time and not crashing, right? You've learned from previous experience. You stay away from narrow alleys and things because horses can go down there better than you can. So you stay on the main roads and just open this thing up, and you're pedaling as hard as you can go, and you're just flying through the city streets. Eventually, it's just you guys. The streets are going past. Boom, boom, boom. You head out of town. I'm just going to randomly presume you kind of thoughtlessly headed north, sort of northeast out of town. And as you leave the town, there's a huge bridge across the river in front of you. Massive arching suspension bridge, completely intact, utterly unused.
Sid was going to be like, before we take it, make sure it goes to the other side.
Is this actually part of the city? Do I know about it?
You know it's here, yeah. This is Forley's sort of, in my head, Forley's famous for this bridge. I don't know what.
So do I, do I know that it completes to the other side?
Yes, yeah.
It's like, well, of course it goes to the other side. What good would a bridge be that doesn't?
Well, thank God. Last time we had this problem, there was no other side of the bridge.
You would also know...
That seems inconvenient.
You also know, Allegra, that the next major city along the way is called Ravenna. And it's much more... Ravenna, yeah. And it's much more relaxed than your city was.
Okay. Or we can find a place... it's going to take... Thank you. It's... And I... The woman keeps humming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and does keep humming. I'm Allegra, by the way.
Artemis Damasi.
You hear from under... You see Sid's arm. Sid Brimlock.
That's Delilah Stillwater, and those are Verite and Stefano.
Hello.
It's nice to meet you.
And I think Artemis
How long has she been like this?
3 days.
Jeez.
And not conscious at all?
No.
Barely breathing.
We thought she was dead.
Okay.
And Artemis will look for when they stop being chased to then stop so that we're not like, you know, so that there's actually like not any rumbling. So
at the top of the bridge. Just because I like this scene. Just the sun's setting behind you. It's late afternoon now because that's the timing on this. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. So it's actually setting behind you. So your shadows are going down the other side of the bridge as you creak to a halt at the top. You just can't go anymore, Artie. Your legs just won't.
She hasn't really slept in 3 days.
Yeah.
And
it's just, your brain is just going safe, safe, safe. And it's everything you've got to stay awake. I want to cut quickly back to Delilah before we do what we can to try and wake them up. Delilah, we only did one scene so far, so I want to do 2 now. You're muted. Now it doesn't count as a swear because you were muted.
Just as well with that language.
Yeah. So we did the first decision. Like, that's the first time you ever made a decision. What's the next big memory?
Florence being destroyed.
Mm-hmm. Being driven out of the place, the only place. What does it do?
Mm-hmm. It crumbles the only thing she ever knew and destabilizes her entire world. And in that, at that time and place, all that was going through her head was just, it was all negative, and it was all she lost everything and became entirely lost in that process. And that is where she kind of began to lose a sort of a grip on who she was, because she no longer had anything to attach her identity to.
You know those games, they're tile games, that at the end of every round, tiles drop away.
Mm-hmm.
As this is happening to you, those tiles, those realities, those parts of the world that you know, they just drop, leaving you just hung. So you aren't anybody because you aren't anywhere. You aren't any when. So hanging out there in the middle of the void, the only thing left is this tiny little spark of self. How the hell is that there, Delilah? What is it? What is it that will not let you give up?
Okay, here we go. So, Delilah has a lot of insecurities and doubts and fears. And she does not believe that she is worthy of anything good because of the things that she did in her past that were bad. But she had a conversation a while ago with Sid. And the thing from that conversation that stuck with her is the concept that she's not beholden to her past. She may have done horrible things, but that does not mean that she's incapable of doing good things or undeserving of good things. And as she watches in this separated form from herself, she is suddenly more objective.
Yes.
In her ability to perceive her own thoughts and behavior. And this light of herself that you described is this fire that she wasn't willing to accept. But I think it turns from an ember into like a little flame, like you'd see just from a lighter. And she comes to this realization that Florence truly is echoes and ash. And the memories are just that, they're memories. They no longer exist outside of her. And she is not beholden to them. So yes, she was a victim of things far beyond her control. But now she's technically the most free she's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
She has so much power right now, but she's been afraid to touch it. And she could have
gets bigger.
She could have more control than she's ever had in her life.
Mm-hmm.
So she looks down at all of this playing out before her like a slide carousel.
Yes.
And it's almost like there's an ellipsis at the end on a slide. And it just says, "What's stopping you?" And Delilah, she has a thought and she has a feeling. She feels that there was fear and like self-hatred, but she has seen objectively that that was irrational. And she looks at this title slide in front of her that says, "What's stopping you?" And from her like ethereal astral self just says, "Nothing."
And I'm going to pause you right there. Because, Allegra, you recognize this. You just said it. You know this. You know what to do here. So what do you do?
So I kind of turn in the seat to kind of look back. Tuning requires a consenting partner.
Mm-hmm.
And it requires conversation.
Delilah, you hear a song in the distance. It gives you direction. You're still in the void, but there's a voice out there singing. All you have to do is sing back.
That was like, "Oh, I don't sing." But then she shoves that aside. And
Humming works.
she actually has a pretty nice voice. It's singing voice. It's very soft. And kind of flows a little bit, but she echoes the song that she hears because she just like feels in her gut. It's like that's the link, that there's a link to something. She has to grab onto something.
Yes.
Like maybe that's from
it's from there.
The
rapidly fading there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in my head, your songs reach out like astral hands, sort of reaching for each other. They're here.
And the song is an invitation. The song is a welcome to sanctuary, a welcome to a place where you can just be, where each person is just themselves. And thanks to my Jack, everybody in the car can feel this call to welcome, this call to peace, this call to community.
I literally got goosebumps. That just
And then the song fades down, but not like it's going away. Like the space in the song is an intentional space.
an invitation. If I'm right? Delilah, your turn.
I think initially I have this image in my head of the two hands meeting, but apart, as if there's like a pane of glass between them.
Yes.
As if there's still something holding Delilah back. And that is
And Allegra turns a little bit, and in that, turns to like Artemis who's sitting next to her. Tell me about yourselves. Why are you so desperately chasing for a doctor? Where did you come from?
Came from Florence.
It's
that's
like
destroyed.
It's like being in a space. It's not normal. This feeling that's in here. Something significant is happening here. Delilah, you hear...
Sanctuary. It's a sanctuary space almost outside of time and space.
Delilah, you hear Artemis's voice alongside the song.
I think she's pushing at this invisible barrier, trying to reach back to the there, and she's like, why am I not going back yet? Why am I not going back yet? And there's just something left that she has to determine.
Sid?
And she... Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I just want to cut away. Sid, what did you see here? Because this is like a mystical experience, so I'm not going to tell you what you saw. This person you just met got in the back and started singing to Delilah. And suddenly it's creepy in here.
Yeah.
And by the way, I have 3 successes.
Yeah, I figured. I was going to ask for the play eventually, yeah.
Sid's kind of like sat back up in the back seat. Delilah's legs are across his lap. And he's not looking at Allegra. He's not hearing Artemis's words. He's watching the ghosts, and they're all standing at like just outside the bubble.
Yep.
And his mom can't stop dancing. And his dad is sitting there, but you can see like the vibration of a foot tapping in the boot.
Yeah. Dad dancing.
Yeah, dad dancing.
Yeah.
And what expression is on Sid's face?
It's a weird sort of calm. I mean, a lot of Sid's emotion is hidden through the mustache. And but
not hidden in the song though.
No. The flat cap is off. His eyes are sad, but you kind of surmise that that's kind of a resting face for him.
He's got resting sad face.
Resting sad face, yeah.
RSF.
Yeah. But he's very, very calm, and after a while he puts his hand on Delilah's knee and starts speaking to her in English, not Italian. And it's just words of encouragement.
Perfect.
He starts talking about what England was like, what he remembers, like little kid stuff, playgrounds, running in the street, bikes, stuff like that. And it's almost like a mantra. It's just constant words. And he's just, to Allegra and Artemis, it's this low rumble underneath the song.
It's part of the song.
The song dims out to make space for it that's there. Yeah. And when pauses for reflection, it sort of comes back in to fill the space and hold the space for you during as you pause. And then when you take the breath, it fades back out for you again.
And Artemis will... Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Artemis will look to Allegra because, they're having this and it's weird and different. And if it can help kind of thing. Because, like,
you can feel it.
Artemis
helping.
also has tuning, but her tuning is very, very different from this. And obviously they don't have stats for it, but whatever. Yeah. We came this way because she's our friend. She's our friend and we care about her. And we need her, not because of what she can do for us or because she's skilled, which she is, but because she's our friend. She's a part of the family.
Delilah, you hear friend, 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 family coming from Artemis. You hear Sid telling these stories, but that's not what you see. What you see is two faceless figures standing above you, looming above you, impossibly tall. And one of them, in a voice you remember but don't recognize, says, "Oh, there you are."
Suddenly, all of the English that Sid has been speaking sort of resolidifies in her brain. And while she has no cognitive remembrance of events or faces from that time, she remembers that she had a sense of self that was not the identity that she grew up with. And it reminds her that she isn't what they told her she was. Inceptum told her that she was taken as a girl. And while that really messed up Delilah when she learned it, it's kind of clicking with her now that she never was what they groomed her to be. She was born her own self, and she will not become Elisabetta because she never was Elisabetta. She is herself in her own power, and she is going to be the one to fix what she helped break.
What happens to the glass?
I think it simultaneously dissolves, but also shatters. And the hands touch.
Except you don't grab one hand. You grab 5. You grab 6. Sid, you can feel it, that big, rough hand. There's nothing like it. Like when he grabs your hand, it goes all the way up to here. Right? It's Sid, right? There's no question. It's either Sid or a bear. One of the two, right? You feel at the same time, almost like it's inside it, you feel Artemis's hand, that artist's hand, that sensitive hand that can just do anything. You can just feel this creative power pouring into you. You can feel Verité's, just his driving will. The one thing he has never had an issue with is who is Verité. So when you feel his hand in yours, it's like welcoming. It's like, you get it now. You understand. You are important. I've been telling you you're a hero since we started. And you feel that pull. Stefano, you feel his hand bigger, but still kind of bony. And you hear the phrase, unpaid intern, as he wraps his hand around yours and pulls.
But what do the two of them say?
Actually, in Verité's other
conversation.
hand, yes, in Verité's other hand, because Verité isn't very good with words, he hands you a new little you, a little steam you, but it's dressed like you now. It stands taller and prouder than the last one did. And he says, this is you for you. And Stefano kind of cocks a hip and puts his hand on his guns. And looks at you and grins and says, anytime. Like he's sparkling, right? He's in his head, he just heroed really, really hard. Right? He saved the witch. Right? And now he's part of this. So you feel him pulling back too, but all of those you recognize. But they're all sort of like strands of a rope. But it's like all those strands around one central core. And that core is new. That, like, you're raw. You're just this flame. In my head, you don't even have form yet because you're still in the void. You're just this flame. You're this being with this hand that grabs. And as you pull back into this world, it's like being born because it's absolutely new. The Delilah that decides to live is not the same one that decided to die last night. This hand that pulls you out is completely new. It's completely honest. There is no artifice about it. It's just pure love. It's just the universe said, no, we need you. And you're pulled back. You physically feel like being pulled through a filter. And then each part of you comes back on that stretcher, stiff, sore. You haven't moved in days. You're hungry. You're thirsty. But you're aware. And everybody else around at the top of this bridge, and the last drop of sunlight sees Delilah sit up.
With a dragon on her head.
Yep. Yes, thank you. I was waiting for something. Yeah, the eyes go there, and that is where we will drop the curtain on tonight. I knew there was another sentence. Thank you. Somebody had to finish that for me.
She sits up, and it's just a close up on her face, and then it slowly
the beak of the dragon, and then the eyes. Yes. Absolutely perfect. And that is where we will drop the curtain. It's early. It's only 7:44, but damn, that was like 6 hours of role play in an hour and a half. So holy cow.
I do want to add in.
Yes. Yeah.
Because this is a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And in the song speaks of hope, of a world of light, of a world of goodwill, of a heart sort of almost tentatively trying to mold it, trying to encourage a small sprout to bring this to be in the world. That this is sort of the driving thing is, the world can be like this, and I'm determined to sing it so.
Oh, thank you. I love that. That's the fadeaway, is this voice and this ring of like color into a gray world, expanding like a shockwave. This glimmer of hope. Nice. That's even better. That's where we'll drop the curtain now. Thank you. That was beautiful.
And I got 3 successes.
Yep.
So I don't know. this skill can allows the removal of traumas in flesh and steam.
Yes. Yep.
And that depends on what you gave into it in your sharing as to what gets reduced and how much. So if you shared just a little bit and it was in one direction or another, if you gave your heart and soul as Delilah kind of did.
Yeah. And then it was one of the reasons why I wanted to stop there, because the thing that just happened here, this experience of true magic for the first time in the game, I wanted to give you guys the players some time to process. So when we come back next week, what does it mean to have just come back from the dead? What does it mean to have watched your friend die and come back? What does it mean? Why? What? Who is this person? How did they do that? Is that magic? Is that real? Or am I just really tired?
They did accuse me of being a witch.
You did? You were about to be killed for being a witch because you didn't listen. You wouldn't leave. Yeah, it was perfect. No, it was absolutely perfect. I love tonight's story. That's the first sip of coffee I had since about 6 minutes in, so you got me.
Yeah.
I'm out of spades in my hand.
Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah, I'll bet.
I got a little weepy at the end.
Yeah, we got you. Yeah, I got you. Yep. That one was deep. That was really I knew we were going to tear Delilah apart. My sneak in my head was I wanted to tear the rest of you apart too. So I wanted to make you guys bring her back. Everybody was going to have to do something to bring her back. And I love the way we didn't plan that. Chris, Wayward, we didn't plan that part. We planned some stuff, but we did not plan that part. So that was absolutely brilliant. Thank you. Whew. Thank yous all around. It's got all quiet in here. Everybody's processing. I got a little while before I can. I gotta go for a walk and a process later. But I would like to thank these amazing people who. I almost didn't say it, but bugger it! You let me do this. I love doing this, and you guys come back and let me do it over and over and over again, and I just so happy. Thank you all as a group, that every single person, every single human being in the Discord channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You all make me feel so very, very special. Whew. There's the Discord. Join us. Feel special with us. Chris, man, I mean, I know you're an actor. You keep telling us. It's in your blurb every week. Right? Detroit-based actor. It's there every week. But every single
Two
time.
sessions in a row to
just
put out that level of
improv acting. Not just acting. Not just reading somebody's script that you've read 100 times before. But I watched
I did have notes today.
Oh, I know you did. I watched you look down. But I watched you play that. The moments that were the most impressive were the ones where I just watched you blank. And I watched you go away, and I was looking at Delilah trying not to die. And it was absolutely stunning. Thank you. Whew. Yeah, I'm just that was amazing. Thank you. Holy cow. Well, Karis, welcome to the club. What a group to join. There was never any question that you had the skills, the talents, and the abilities to do it. So it was you did exactly what you always do. You fit right in. You found a role, and bang, here it is. This is what I do. So you fit into this group. They already can't live without you, right? You've been in the group for half an hour.
I don't do anything else though.
Yeah,
I have a 9. I don't do anything else.
You are a 2-trick pony. I think we figured out, and they're both kind of related. So it's really a 1-trick pony that's
and
really,
I'm
really
down
good.
around 3 and 2.
But knowing our group and how much trauma we have, it's necessary.
Oh yes, yeah. But thank you for bringing
this. 2 tricks, yes.
Yes, and thank you very much for bringing this magic into this world in a believable way. When I first started, I told these guys they couldn't be children of the river because I didn't want magic in the game. But when you came to me and said you want to do it, I went, yeah, this is the time, because they've seen 2 fakes now. They saw the pretend ones in the city, and they saw the pretend ones by the river. So now to actually experience it just in that little moment, And I'm hoping that they're still self-doubting because they were 3 days with no sleep and their friend was dying and they had Stefano nuked a bunch of people and they can never go back to Forley again and But
and I got nothing for Steele. I got news for you. Sorry, Sid.
Yeah, you're gone.
Sid is completely totally on the fence because
Delilah can fix your bodies
ghosts.
now. Yeah,
he already sees ghosts.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
and
as far as he's concerned, his mom approves.
Yeah, and let's slide over to Sid because playing the ghost is really cool to watch. I never have to say anything more than what are the ghosts doing, and I watch you turn to look. Like again, it's not you're not. There's no character here. It's like, oh yeah, what are they doing? But I want to thank you specifically. I know again this was kind of nearly almost part of a discussion, but thank you for bringing the faceless ones in so that I could use them. The timing tonight was bringing them back tonight was perfect, so thank you for that. Sid is Sid physically is where the rest of them are emotionally, so I like that mirror.
Yeah,
big strong Sid is got about 2 intact ribs.
Yeah,
one
Delilah's
part of his pelvis
flesh.
that still functions.
I'm at 3 steel.
Yeah.
So getting our doctor back.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, that's going to be a big deal. Oh wow, Robin. Artemis is the thing that impressed me the most with Artemis is the way that you played Artemis unstuck. Right, Coas is gone. That means the Apollo thing is gone. There's no like who the hell am I now? Like what do I do? Who? Oh shit! The ultra confident Artemis suddenly had this moment where you went, wait a minute, who the hell am I? When it's just me in the room, right? So I love that moment, and I'm really looking forward to the start of the next session when the sort of magic bubbles down. The song's going to keep going, but it's sort of going to bubble down to the point where you're going to be able to look around and go, okay, what happened there? But you're all sort of still in this incredibly fragile, broken state. But I hope
Artemis went a little unhinged.
Yeah. Yeah. How many skills are you at 3 trauma in?
I'm not actually at 3 trauma in any of them.
Okay. What's your total trauma count?
2 in all of them.
Yeah.
It's a 2 in flesh and steel, excuse you.
Yeah.
And then a 1 in steam still.
Okay. So yeah.
I've got
not
1 in
too
steam,
bad.
1 in flesh.
She's not at 3 yet. I'm not going to say she's not going to get there, but she's been at like the 2 and other stats for most of the game.
Yeah, you guys have kind of been willing to occasionally
and hope and bubblegum.
Yeah. You guys have been occasionally willing to fix physical things that are wrong with yourselves, but now you're going to have to face the mental issues as well. So I absolutely love it.
Well, I'm carrying 2 trauma and steel and 1 in gear. So
yep, Hetty just got here. So yeah,
I just got here.
Yeah,
how much
happened in the backstory.
Yeah.
So
is there like a specific number of traumas that I heal, or is that like a?
Here's the funny part: mechanically, you wouldn't have healed any because Allegra didn't get to 4 successes, which is what you need to heal the fourth trauma. But what the whole role play tonight made up for that. So in my head, you wake up with 3 traumas in that.
You're basically at 1 hit point.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I don't know where I drew the inspiration for that from.
And and you're gonna have to be more and it's gonna have to be more conversation and consent to get further. But
because right now I think the way we played it out tonight, I like it because Delilah at the end is now a name that is a being, but that's it. There's no other features. You're a blank slate. You're literally not literally, you're figuratively reborn at this moment. So I'm really looking forward to next week. But I got 2 more thank yous to do. Yes.
Well, and Robin, I mean, you gave me an apology up front, and I'm throwing the gauntlet back at you. Allegra's up for this.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You guys are. This was. This is going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to watching this a lot. But thank you to everybody that watched tonight. Thank you to everybody that watched the VOD as well. And a huge thank you to all the people that watched on YouTube, because historically speaking, there's a lot of you. So welcome to season 2. That's where it started. And here, as they say, we go. But until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.